Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new podcast from Third Shusha Global Media Forum. Today, we have very interesting and important topic: AI-driven media from an ethical approach. And today's guest is Frank Kane. He is editor at large Arabian Gulf Business Insights online news platform. Thanks so much for accepting our invitation and joining here us today.
It's a great honor, Nisa. Thank you so much for having me. And I must say, what a great time I've had so far in Shusha at the Global Media Forum. My second year here. It's a great event. Well done.
That's very nice to hear some great insights from the guests. That's amazing. And today we are going to talk about the role of AI, because AI is transforming journalism, and absolutely from different areas, from different ways, from creating headlines just to making stories or some ideas suggesting cover-ups. In different ways AI shows its own effect. And from your experience, how AI is changing the work of news operations, now newsrooms, what's changing, what's going on there, and what are benefits and challenges comes with AI in journalism?
Sure. Well, I've been a journalist and working in media for the best part of 40 years. I mean, the changes have been enormous and radical all round. But I think the changes that are coming about because of artificial intelligence are probably the most profound. One obvious thing is that it speeds everything up, makes everything much faster. It takes away the boring, dull bits of journalism and does those in an instant. Of course, it is also extremely good for data processing, data analysis. It's very good for investigative work. It can make suggestions and make linkages, that the human brain, or my human brain anyway, wouldn't make very easily. So it has certainly made the job a lot quicker, faster, and more analytical. You asked about the challenges. Maybe if I can just reflect, when I began in journalism, if you went into a newspaper office, say in the 1980s, in the middle of the day, it would be empty because people would be out getting stories. Now, I suspect if you go into a media unit or newspaper, it'll be packed. There'll be people looking at screens. So the world is coming to the journalists rather than journalists going to the world. And, we could debate whether that is a good thing or a bad thing. So the changes have been enormous.
Let's look at from an ethical approach. Like, what do you think? Like, AI have some, what professional journalists, is there any ethical guidelines about AI? What is the manners? What is there any standards? And how journalists need to apply AI to their work? And is there any limitations? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think journalists have to be very circumspect when using AI. And I think the key word here is trust but verify. So, as I said, it's a very useful tool. It can do things that the human brain can't do, and much more quickly. But it does make mistakes, And I'm sure that you use ChatGPT. We all use ChatGPT. Of course we do. Even though some people feel a bit guilty about using it still, ChatGPT says on its opening page, please check the information. I can make mistakes. I'm not infallible. So I think that is the crucial thing. We really do have to check everything, and also be transparent about when AI is being used. You have to tell the reader when you are using AI. And I know some organizations, Reuters, for example, has a thing called News Trace, which tells readers when it has used an AI on a particular part of the story. One other point here is that I think we have to feel less guilty about using AI. People still, of my generation anyway, maybe yours is different, I still feel a little bit guilty when I use AI. The other crucial thing I think here is that there has to be human control at the beginning and end of the process. The human being, i.e. me, has to do the prompts accurately and properly, then let the hard work be done by AI, and then at the end, the human has to come in again and use your brain to, work out what is accurate, what could be fake, what could be prejudice, because AI gathers its information and its data from all around the world. So it will also absorb all the prejudices from the world. For example, at the media forum today, we heard from the head of Euronews, who asked ChatGPT for some background on the relationship between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And the information that he got was entirely from a Western Armenian perspective. And he had to prompt it again to get a more accurate perspective. So, I think we have to be awake all the time. We have to be very conscious of the fact, that it can absorb prejudices as well as accuracy.
What do you think? Like how AI is now entering our lives? How people need to have trust for AI? Like how
Yeah.
it is adjusting? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a very important question as well. I recall maybe 2 years ago now, the German newspaper Bild fired a lot of journalists, reporters and other production journalists, and handed it all over to AI. And readers of Bild complained. And they said, we can't trust this. We trust the humans. We don't trust the machines. So, that's a very important factor, isn't it? I mean, I personally, I read journalists that I've known and I've read for years, and I trust their opinion and their word. If there's a new news source out there, which could be AI affected, AI generated, then I will be distrustful of that until it's proved otherwise. The phrase that I used before, trust but verify, I think that's a really important one. And things like the Reuters method that called news trace that I mentioned, that's also a very good way of doing it. We have to be transparent as journalists about when AI is being used.
You have more than 40 years of media experience in journalism in different fields. What do you think about the future of journalism? What do you think about the future perspectives of AI and media?
Well, I think that the transformation that we've seen can only accelerate. It can only get faster. And some people think that this is a threatening thing. They think that the machines will take over. A funny story, when I use ChatGPT, I'm always very polite. I say hello, thank you, please, if it's not too much trouble. Because if these machines really are going to rule the world one day, it's nice to be polite to them, I find that I've developed quite a chatty relationship with ChatGPT. It calls me by my name and everything. So, but I guess the basic question is, will this be good for journalism or not? And it certainly has the potential to be profoundly good for journalism. It can make us better journalists. But the lesson is we have to stay in control. Humans have to be at the beginning and the end of the whole process. And if we use it in that way, then I think that the future is bright. I don't think the machines will take over as long as we insist that we are in control. That's what we have to do.
Yes. The main point is that how people behave with AI, like how we are controlling, could we control it? Could we have a balance or not? Yes, that was very amazing and impressive insight from you. Thanks so much for joining us here today. That was amazing. And the main conclusion is that the main thing is people. People, how will use it and how will they balance it, and that will show our future. Amazing.
Exactly.
And yes,
We have to stay in control.
control is in our hands.
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining us. See you at the next Shusha Global Media Forum.